You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Days of Our Lives fans, we have got some more juicy leaks from our inside source, and this is about some couple shuffles, and it involves Brady Black, Sarah Horton, Gwen Rizczech, and several others. Expect heartache, breakups, makeups, and shakeups starting soon. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and before we dive into this latest leak, just real quick, on the last video, the early weeklies, I referred to Sophia and Tate's baby as she, as a little girl. That was based strictly on what Sophia said to Tate in the promo. She lied and said they had a baby girl, obviously because she was, dropping the baby off at the baby drop box. At the point when I taped that, Sophia had not given birth yet. That episode hadn't aired. So the only reference to the baby's gender was the lie she told in the promo. So yes, I do know she had a boy. Thank you for the comments. I love that you guys comment, but yeah, I know it's a boy. All right, now to the good stuff. If you listen here regularly, you know we have a very reliable source who gives us inside scoop on Days storylines. And boy, did they deliver this week. Be sure and hit that subscribe button if you aren't following us. And let's dive in. So much to unpack. First up, Xander and Sarah have been estranged since she found out Xander almost killed Philip and Xander found out Sarah was lying to him 4 months about that letter from Victor. And, she was covering for Philip's big forgery scheme to take half his inheritance. So Xander and Sarah are still at odds, and our leaker reports that Sarah and Brady get closer soon, mostly due to Sarah's connection as little Rachel Black's doctor, while she's dealing with this stress over Johnny's arrest and having to testify in court. Now, of course, in the new summer fall promo, we did see Sarah kiss Brady at the bistro when she saw Gabi lip-locking Xander, but that is not the start of some epic romance. According to our leaker, it is Brady who's pursuing Sarah, and she's really not down for it. That incident at the bistro was just a one-off when Sarah was ticked off and she smooched him just to make Xander jealous, and then, he punches him. So that isn't this. So this is a whole separate thing. Our insider says that Brady uses Sarah's growing closeness to Rachel as her doctor to try and get closer to Sarah. It seems that Brady is the one pursuing Sarah. He definitely wants more than just a platonic friendship, but Brady's going to come up dry because the thing is, Sarah's heartbroken and vulnerable, and despite all the bad stuff, the attack on Philip and his anger issues, despite all that, Sarah still really loves Xander. But it won't be until cold weather sets in later this year that Sarah and her husband Xander reconcile. Sarah and Xander are going to remain estranged, not legally divorced. That's what we've heard. But there's other people in the way of their reunion. Philip, though, is actively trying to put them back together because he feels responsible for the rift between Xander and Sarah. Don't forget, Gwen Rizczech is back to Days of Our Lives reportedly on Monday. And while we know she's hot for Xander, she's not going to be a big problem for Sarah and Xander, according to our leaker. Instead, the insider tells us that Gwenny is going to be a much bigger issue for Cat Greene and Chad DiMera until Billy Flynn exits. And then there's a little time gap and we'll see Connor Floyd, aka New Chad. So in the new mega promo, it shows Cat getting a kiss from Chad, but Gwen may try to get between them while she's conspiring with EJ DiMera. And if you remember, Cat has been tasked with Shane to spy on EJ, find out where that money came from. And so he's got this person on his side helping do dirty things, and that's going to be Gwen. And of course, the other vixen in the mixin is Gabi Hernandez in the couple shakeup stuff. So we're soon going to see Tony DiMera plotting with Gabi. He's determined to get DiMera out of the hands of the Kiriakis boys, Xander and Philip, out from under Titan. Not only that, but Tony wants to actually use DiMera Enterprises as a force for good, not evil. That's weird. I didn't even know that was possible, right? So Gabi and Tony are discussing fighting fire with arson instead of more fire. And we're going to see Gabi locking lips with Dandy Zandy, which infuriates Sarah. And then Gabi also gets herself horizontal with Philip. So Tony and Gabi might be trying to pit Victor's sons against each other, using her as the temptress in the middle. So in the end, Gabi may actually be more trouble for Xander and Sarah than greedy Gwen. All right, here's some other good stuff from our leaker about some of these lusty lovers. While Sarah is treating Rachel for some of her issues, our leaker says Sarah tells Rachel their backstory about the baby swap and all that drama with little Mickey Horton. Plus, at one of the appointments when Sarah is talking to and treating Rachel, somehow Sarah figures out that Rachel shot EJ and it wasn't Johnny. But Kristen finds out that Sarah knows. At this point, it seems that Kristen already knows. Anyway, Kristen is going to beg Sarah to keep it secret, and together they vow to protect Rachel because, of course, we know Sarah feels very motherly towards Rachel. And in fact, Brady might not find out about Rachel shooting EJ for quite some time because they leave him out of this, apparently. So the leaker reconfirmed what they told me before, that Kristen is going to take the fall for Rachel for EJ's shooting. She's going to be sent to Statesville Prison. Silver lining, Kristen won't be there too awful long, and Rachel's going to get some serious psychological help that's long overdue. Flipping over to Xander, he gets introspective. He realizes why Sarah felt like she had to lie to him, and then Xander forgives her. Philip's part of this whole self-realization process. The brother bond between Xander and Philip is going to regrow stronger than ever. Sarah forgives Xander, and things get better because the Scottish hunk is going to get some anger management therapy, also long overdue. Things are looking good, and Sarah should be reunited with Xander in time for the holidays, maybe late fall, but definitely by the holidays. And then early next year, some early 2026 leak action. Sarah's kidnapped. Something terrible happens to her. The same kidnapper snatches Kristen after she's out of prison. Maggie blames Xander for not protecting Sarah and her being taken, and she rages at him. Maggie's also blaming herself. She's eaten up by guilt. Sarah's eventually saved, but then Xander is in this self-loathing phase where he doesn't think he deserves to be with Sarah. So he calls it quits with her to basically protect her from him. And at that point, guess who comes back around sniffing around Sarah? Our leaker says Brady tries again to get with Sarah. He also agrees Xander is not worthy of her. Not that Brady's exactly got a stellar track record of great life choices either. So Sarah agrees to a couple of dates with Brady, starts out friendly, gets slightly more romantic between them. But bottom line, Xander's still the man in Sarah's heart. He is her person. Also, Rachel and Sarah continue to be in each other's orbit, and our leaker also wanted to make it very clear that despite some speculation and wild rumors, no, they are not doing a retcon. They are not going to make Rachel Black somehow really Sarah's dead daughter, Mackenzie, aka Little Mickey Horton. So if you see that floating around anywhere, my leaker says it's a big old lie, lie, lie. We'll see how it goes, but I will say my insider has a good track record. I reported way back in February the leak from them about Johnny being accused of shooting EJ, but he left the gun in the house. Rachel picked it up and shot EJ. It's all playing out just the way my leaker said. So hopefully this latest round of leaks is also spot on. I'm excited to see how it goes. Let me know what you guys think.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.